Lynx before this match in the green room, and Lynx said that Secret is the best attacking team here at the event. I had originally misattributed that quote to you. I was incorrect. It was Lynx who said that. Lynx is my favorite caster.
We share that in common.
We
you
do.
And I.
The only difference is I have you a little bit farther down my depth chart.
Reasonable.
You're about 9th.
Monty and Ying make perfect sense. You're always going to be banning shields up against Team Secret. The Ying ban, also an extremely annoying operator that Team Secret do not like playing with, and I expected the ban here.
Flynn is 8th.
Reasonable. Valkyrie going to be taken off next. A very powerful op here. I could see an Azami. I would expect the Azami, to be fair, unless they want to be running around with it. But Azami, okay. Azami would be the strongest operator to take off the board. But at the same time, you know, if you're Falcons, you're starting on defense. Maybe you want some of those stronger operators to stay up on the board. So regardless, our bans have gone through. Neither of these teams have played a ton of Skyscraper. I will say when Secret play it, they play it quite a bit. The last 7 times that Team Secret have played Skyscraper on stream, the game went 12 rounds or longer. They like long matches on Skyscraper, and Sky tends to produce those long matches because we tend to get very lopsided sides where it goes maybe 5-1 into a 5-1. Even if you're really good in the first half, that does not guarantee you're going to be good on the second half, especially if you're starting defense on that first half. On the other side, for Falcons, they've only played this map once all season long. That was a 7-4 win over GK all the way back in April. So it's been a hot minute since we've seen Falcons play this matchup. They've not played it internationally this year. I believe they played it a bit last year, but that was with a completely different roster. All their players have been swapped out since then, with the one exception of J-Lad. So really, this is a team that has very little experience on Sky. Secret definitely have a bit more. They've played it, I think, 3 times this stage, and all of them have been very close matches. So we should be in for a great one today, Parker. I don't imagine Falcons would have let us get here if it wasn't a map that they've been holding on to. I can't wait to see what they've got in the tank.
Are they a vehicle?
They're a Rainbow Six Siege team based out of the MENA region who are currently participating in the Montreal Major Swiss Phase Round 2.
Really, if you do dive into the numbers, it's very confusing. If we wanted to be very specific about stages and phases and numbers and days.
Stage 2, Phase 2. Nothing confusing about that.
They still don't understand what happened to Phase 1. They defeated SSG. Did you see the Vida King play?
Did I see the Vida King play? Which Vida King play?
On Capitao when he won. What do you mean which Vida King play? If you watch the play, you'd know exactly what I was talking about.
I don't think I did. I saw the J9 Oak play.
It was when he swung in to console office upstairs and then jumped up on the desk and got a 3K and killed the Clash.
Ah.
Yes, it was bananas, I believe would be the correct term to describe it.
Much like this push is going to be for Team Secret, if they can't get something going, they don't have a shield. They chose not to bring out the Blitz, at least for the very first round, nor the Fuse, which are the 2 shields that we tend to see. Nope, Monty was banned by Falcons, so that one, very true. They have gotten the wall open now, and they're actually doing quite good work with these Flores drones. They've pushed Dove out of position, but he's not done. He wants to go for a swing, but he missed the shot. Savage, 40 HP, but he does live.
Admittedly, he did hit a bunch of them, but
yes,
the damage fall off of the Vector at that range means that you're essentially spitting on your opponent.
Yeah.
I think the spit would actually cause more harm because of, you know, bacteria than those bullets at that point. So as you can see, Savage still survives. The assault right now spread out all over this top floor.
A lot of the pressure has come direct towards the site. I haven't actually seen much other map control being taken by the likes of Team Secret. We do have Groovy, who's inside the map at this point. Otherwise, nobody else. Savage follows him up. Nobody else has really taken any map control. J-Lad and Hisham will be the first couple of players, along with Robbie, who has been excellent this tournament, holding down the roam game. 60 seconds, though, and they are just addressing this part of the map.
Robbie's been the best-rated player so far through the play-ins and onwards. It starts off with kill number 1 of the series. He pays for it by a flash. Still upright, though. J-Lad dies. Groovy goes down. Hisham with a double piece. Jum and Groovy are gone. A swing from the Legion of Hisham, answered by Virtue, the resident Aussie. Now in a 1v3. Both of these teams have players with different nationalities spread across the world. As Siege goes international. What a fascinating thing to say. Virtue with 13 HP and does not have access to the case. That will be a small problem, especially since there will likely be goo mines littered around the map. And on top of that, there's 3 players from Falcons. A bit of difficulty dealing with the default cam. Immediately stops, rubs his brows, and that'll be it for the first round.
All
I mean, Falcons do get the exit pick, but
Sure.
it was over no matter what.
Yeah, but there was no time at all on the clock. Again, they didn't start dealing with that roam game until there was about 60 seconds remaining. I always say in Siege, when you're going for your roam clear, you can take your time, or you can win your fights. You can't do both. You can't go really slow and also trade out all your kills. If it takes you down to a 2v2 and also it took you 2.5 minutes, that's not a good clear. They lost all their fights. They lost the man advantage on the roam clear, and it took them ages to do so. First 2 minutes of that round, really, I don't think were spent very efficiently. They were spending a lot of time over towards the site. They did open up the main wall. They had some Flores usage, which was starting to get some utility clear, but nothing ever came of it. At the same time, there was nothing going on against over on the roam side of things. They were spending a lot of time droning. Maybe, I don't know, we're into a tech pause now. There might have been some issues in that round, but regardless, it didn't feel like Secret were really going, which was a bit of a problem. And then, of course, when they got over to the side of the map where they're trying to clear out, Hasham and Robbie started to put the pedal to the metal. We haven't gotten to cast Falcons yet, but I gotta say, there is no doubt in my mind that this team has some of the best players mechanically in the entire world, and it feels like they came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, the Middle East region has been something that's been talked about for a very long period of time, but the fact that it wasn't officially supported at a Tier 1 level, it didn't hinder growth, but it certainly didn't allow for that region to show off the best of the best. You know, Falcons come in, they're very competitive. GK comes in, they're immediately competitive. There's no shortage of money for these organizations in the Middle East, so they can train effectively, they can boot camp, they can send the players all around the world, they can afford the best of the best. And of course, you're not going to buy your way to a championship, but you certainly will have a major leg up if you've got the money to use for your players to grow. And that's exactly what we've seen out of Falcons. A lot of this stuff, though, like mechanical aim, you can't really teach that. I mean, you can train it, but a lot of times it's either you have the reflexes, you have the aim, you have the muscle memory, or you don't. Training obviously will play a big part of that, but a lot of these players are just naturally gifted, and that's what we're seeing from Falcons. They've looked so far like one of the best teams here at the Major, and with the way that they're playing, a deep run certainly seems possible. It wouldn't be the first time that a Middle Eastern team, by the way, makes a deep run at a live event either.
Yeah, the last time it happened, it wasn't the Falcons, but it was with Hasham. So obviously, these are some players that know what it's like to play at the highest level. Middle East seems to have teams that will sway back and forth. Seems almost month to month, year to year. Sometimes they put out teams that look like they could be some of the best in the world, and sometimes they really struggle at international events. A lot of roster changes. There's a lot of volatility on these rosters sometimes, as we see in other smaller regions as well. So I think that contributes to it to an extent. Obviously, this lineup the Falcons have brought to Montreal does seem to be extremely good. Here's an initial gunfight. Guards has to hit the deck on the other side of that window to avoid getting his head blown off, but he is okay. No damage really exchanged, a little bit onto Virtue, but I guess they're going to be fine coming out of it. Guards and Dove, obviously, twins coming into this, which is a pretty exciting storyline.
You know, they looked so alike.
The other casters have talked about it, but if this is your first time watching Falcons, we do have a new set of twins in the Rainbow Six scene, and they're on the same team this time. So that's pretty cool coming through here. A couple of engagements around top black, but it looks like J-Lad's getting out.
Robbie, first kill in the first round, does it again. He takes out Adrian. Dove dies to Groovy. Nothing really gained there. Adrian dying means all those bees are gone on this top floor bomb site. If you want to isolate somebody inside of Geisha, if you're worried about a play from Drum and you want to lock down that hallway, a great operator to do that is the Grim. He won't be available for Secret. That's a big loss in terms of utility. As for Dove, well, you've lost the Malusi, but those Banshees should already be set down. So these are passive gadgets versus active gadgets from Adrian. Guards dies on the run out. He gets a little bit brazen. Virtue with the foresight to lay down a Claymore, stopping him in his tracks. Advantage swings in favor of Secret with a minute in the round to go.
Yeah, that's a nice pick. I mean, we saw Virtue put down that Claymore, and he almost died for it, but clearly that was value. Now these last three players on Falcons, they're going to have a really heavy hit coming in. Top black, Geisha, a lot of control from Secret.
J-Lad annihilates Groovy with the shotgun in a very familiar spot for these defenders, whether it be a smoke or a mute, sometimes even a warden in that position. Hasham is just waiting out the fire inside a drum, and Robbie's not far enough away that he can't impact this. J-Lad now moving down the stairs where he got a kill earlier on. He sees the buck. And honestly, I'm quite surprised that was enough to kill. It looked like he just hit the shoulder. Troubling times for Team Secret. That wonderful attacking round ratio that we talked about has not shown up so far through a very defender-sided Skyscraper. Robbie getting one of the last 2 picks. He's been sensational for Falcons. Yet to die, 3-0. And with his success and the rest of the team, Falcons are up 2-0.
Skyscraper, again, a really tough map to get in on, right? It's really hard to roam clear. It's really hard to execute. There's so many angles that will very often favor the defenders on this map. I thought Secret had a lot of advantages in that round. They had the man count advantage, obviously, but they also had quite a bit of map control. I mean, they were coming in black. They had full bottom floor controlled with a buck. Geisha was being cleared out already, so it felt like they had a lot of opportunities to make that execute work, but I really got to give credit to J-Lad, obviously playing around that staircase, took it back with the shotgun. Excellent play there on the defense. And then, of course, Robbie. We're going to be talking about Robbie a lot this game. I can already tell you the stats that he's been putting up in previous matches, looking like he's got no sign of slowing down in this one up against Team Secret, so really excited to see what Robbie can do for the rest of this game, playing against his fellow Europeans for the most part. Everybody else on this team is homegrown in the MENA region, but Robbie is an import and never actually played in Tier 1 in the EUL. He played for Team 86, which was a Tier 2 team in Europe for quite a while. Nobody wanted to pick him up. Now he's at the top level, destroying some of these teams that, I mean, I don't know the context of if they ever trialed him or anything, but clearly didn't maybe give him enough credit down there in the regional league. So I'm sure it feels good for Robbie and his fans. I believe no, I don't know, I'm not sure actually. Robbie coming in from Trento, Italy, so representing that part of the world. I was going to say, is he the only Italian at this event?
At this event, I would have to say yes. We have had very few professional Italians play, and we've never actually had a fully bona fide Italian team compete at a Tier 1 level. They have competed and found success in qualifiers.
That's wrong. Year 1 Pro League, there was a full Italian squad. Never made event, I don't believe.
The very first year?
Year 1, yeah.
I don't consider that real. I don't. What? I literally do not track that.
Well, I do.
To me, Rainbow Six Esports began at the first SI. This might be an unpopular opinion, by the way, amongst people. But, I mean, the scene only had 2 official regions. It was in its infancy. It wasn't until the very first SI where we saw it opened up other regions that it became a bit more competitive. So anything involved in that very first, that's like the beta. We were in the open beta season.
All right. I mean, I disagree. Pro League happened. I don't know what to tell you. It's in the stat books.
I'm aware.
The Wikipedia pages still exist.
You know the beautiful thing about Wikipedia is anybody can edit it.
Wikipedia.
That's the same thing.
Now, Wikipedia has pretty strict rules.
So does Wikipedia. Halfway point of the round. Savage is dead. Dove is dead. Savage yet to find a kill so far for Team Secret. Virtue rocking that diffuser still outside. He'll have to go for a rotate around as Guards takes quite a bit of damage. Crazy to think that we are now approaching the end of round number 3, Jesse, and Guards is sitting at an 0-1 stat line. Usually you have a kill or maybe some more deaths. That's not the case here. Team Secret struggling to get in the building, struggling to find their footing. They've had that issue through the first 2 rounds. It is continuing onward now in round 3.
I mean, this is the one you need, right? They still don't have very much map control at all. Top floor mostly being held onto by Falcons. They do have Joom up there instead of Terrence, but a lot of these players are still outside the building, or Adrian down below on 7 HP, 1 HP now, sorry, in a really rough spot. It'll be Groovy who starts things off, though.
Down goes Guards, so 0-2, as I said, very minimal action. Groovy dies to J-Lad. Virtue knows somebody's behind the bar. He's hunting for kills. He finds them. J-Lad's last man standing. Playing from above. A triple kill. Sidearm out now. Virtue and Adrian remain. Virtue with that diffuser at full HP. Adrian at a single point. And they can't find Virtue's location. He spots him at the last second. A quad kill for J-Lad. All he needs is 1 more HP on Adrian to get the ace. He drops, but he doesn't have any information. The jump out, and it's Virtue's Claymore yet again. 2 Claymore kills for Virtue so far through this map. You don't usually see numbers quite that high. Falcons started off strong, but Secret get on the board, but just barely.
Ain't that just the Virtue way? Back-to-back Claymore kills, some of his most impactful kills, in fact, through this game, makes him the top frag of his team at the moment with 4 kills, half of them coming from Claymores. Feels typical for the 30-year-old support coming in on Team Secret. He's often been one who's been more backline, more holding the team down. He's been talked about as one of the best support players in the world. World champion, of course, back on G2 before he left that team to come now to Team Secret, add a lot of veterancy to this team. Another veteran on this squad is their coach, Twister, who's been all around the scene in Brazil, now moving over to Europe to try to help out this Team Secret squad. He's been coaching them for a while at this point. Trying to give him some words. I would say Skyscraper attack, always so difficult. And I'm a little surprised we're seeing attack timeout this early, given the fact that it is Skyscraper and you got 1 round win. I mean, 1 round in the first 3 quarters, in the first 3 rounds, the first site rotation is pretty expected. You know, the top floors of Sky are really hard to hit. If Twister can talk some words into these guys and get them to win some attacks on the top floor, then it's absolutely worth it. You walk away with like a 3-3 here, you're ecstatic. That's amazing. Even if it's a 4-2, you're thinking, okay, we can absolutely do this on the second time around. So it's a bit risky. I'm a little bit concerned if this game goes really late, if we start hitting overtime or 15 rounds, as most of Team Secret Skyscraper games tend to go, then that attack timeout might be valuable later on. But for now, I trust Twister. He's a very experienced coach. I'm sure he's got plenty to say. I'm sure he's seen something, so we'll see how it pays out.
He wasn't the only Brazilian that came over to Team Secret. Miracle was also on the team for a short period of time before moving back to Brazil.
Yes.
Miracle at one point when he was on, I think it was the MIBR squad, was very highly touted. It was, what was it, him and Fantasy.
Yeah.
Widely considered one of the best 1-2 punches on an aspiring team, because Brazil as a region has no shortage of 1-2 punches. Unfortunately for a player like Miracle, his success outside of his home region was not really all there. So he went back, and now, fortunately for him, did not make the major. Secret have had a decent amount of players that have cycled through this roster at some point, though. Especially if you go back and consider the old Secret roster that used to have Leon Gids on it as well way back in the day, which I believe was picked up by IDK, if memory serves correctly. Snookin knows / I don't know, after Snookin left the team along with 2 other Swedes and formed that team, which would later become Chaos Esports Club, which I don't believe exists anymore.
I don't think so. They used to house our good friend Jack.
Fresh, that is
Shout out
correct.
to Fresh.
Before he went to G2, if memory serves correctly.
Yes, I believe so. I believe he started on Chaos, went to G2, and then went to the desk.
Chaos still has that esports skin in the game. Well, you obviously can't get it at this point, but every now and then you'll see players still running it on their SMG11s. Joom eliminating guards down below. Trades out quite a bit of HP down in Restaurant. Opening pick in favor of Secret. Falcons have been great at striking first. Not this round, though.
Not at the moment. Hasham's looking to equalize. There is a Grim out there. Of course, that is Virtue. When Virtue's outside, though, you're worried for Claymores. He gets the headshot anyways. Not this time, Virtue. Unfortunately, no trap set up. 1 down below, 2. Savage, what are we looking at? Hasham up above just happens to find that next easy little pick. And the man advantage swings right to Falcons.
Was it not Geisha just 2 rounds ago where Hasham did the exact same from the same spot?
Yeah.
Now it's J-Lad to eliminate Adrian, who's still searching for his first kill. 2 players on Team Secret yet to get a kill. Adrian and Savage combining for 0-7. Adrian is playing a support role, so it is not particularly necessary for him to get those kills. The same cannot be said of Savage. So while you look at Adrian's tally and you say, that's not great, you can at least hand wave it away by saying, okay, well, he's playing Heartbreach, he's playing support. Savage, much harder to excuse. So Joom and Groovy need to accomplish quite the feat as they are outnumbered 2-1. Over in Dragon is Groovy making an awful lot of noise, dealing with the Kiba barriers that can be destroyed by bullets. A Nitro Cell thrown out by Dove. Down goes Joom, and now it's all up to Groovy. Eliminated by Robbie. The pole not long for this world. And Falcons might have dropped the previous round, but their lead goes right back to where it was. They are marching their way through this first half.
feels like with a lot of these gunfights, it's really Falcons in control. You know, even when they lose the opening pick, they're the ones who are getting aggressive right after. They're the ones spraying through windows, jumping out, going for big aggressive swings, where Secret are very hesitant to take map control early. They're very hesitant to make a move to clear out a specific part of the map. I've yet to see like a good Ying push to clear out a player. There's been no blitz whatsoever to clear out an important position. And, you know, sometimes on Skyscraper, that's, again, way easier said than done. But still, it just doesn't feel like Secret are making the moves to grab that space for themselves. It's been much more passive where they're waiting for Falcons to make that swing instead. So that's really going to be a tough way to try to play up against one of the best teams in the world on individual mechanics. The Falcons no doubt are. You see the stats just on your screen at the moment. Robbie, 4-1. That's an 80% win rate on his gunfights. Hasham, 4-2. JLad, 8-2. You've got some ridiculous numbers being put up by Falcons. It's only the Twins who have not been putting up crazy stats. But again, 3-1. Like, if you're going 0-3, I honestly don't mind when you're winning by this much, because you know, you're clearly contributing in other ways, whether that's getting some calls, whether that's putting down utility, whether that's hopping on cameras and making callouts in that sense. Guards, I'm sure, is still contributing in many different ways. Currently with the sight setup, shotgun and SMG-11 combo, making sure that the office is all set up for when the push does come in. What I like from Secret initially here is it seems like they are starting over right towards the bomb site. Well, we'll find out what their actual game plan is. There's an Echo all the way over in VIP at the moment. If they're not roam clearing the exhibition side of the map, this could be a big problem.
We've already called their timeout too, right? So
yep.
You will at least have, assumedly, you'll have the better side. Just simply based on the numbers of Skyscraper, for a long period of time, this map has been among the top 2 most defender-sided maps in our map pool.
Mm-hmm.
We need to take a look at how it's been played out so far here, what limited data we have at this major as to the way Skyscraper is played, but I see no reason for it to suddenly skew towards the attackers.
No.
It's what happens when you take an extremely defender-sided map and then a team that is so proficient on attack. Joom walks up the stairs, guns down Robbie inside of Geisha. Down goes Adrian. JLad will follow. The advantage still towards Team Secret, as Savage has taken a beating. He's finally found his first kill. Adrian dead will go most of this first half without being able to have an impact in terms of kills, but utility-wise, at least you're able to get one of those lion charges before death.
They had a man advantage on this bomb site last time they were attacking it too. It didn't do them any favors. They still were struggling, but it was JLad, the big player, to step up and equalize that count before the execute ended up coming in. He has now been taken out, as has the star player of Robbie. Perhaps an opportunity now. This main stairs player is going to be in a really awkward spot, but he's got some help.
Dove looked for something, but he couldn't find it. He took more damage than I think he wanted. Savage, another kill. Maybe now starting to warm up. Joom through the wall as Hasham gets one pick, but Savage, a 3K. And Secret have at least managed a minor comeback. 2 rounds on attack on Skyscraper is where most attacking teams find themselves. Secret are in that sweet spot. If they can go 3 for 3 in this first half, you have to imagine they will feel very comfortable moving on to defense. But where do they go? Karaoke T will be the final bomb site that Falcons will have an opportunity to defend.
This is kind of an awkward choice, right? Because you just lost this bomb site in the previous round. Plus, the last time that you did win it, you went down in man count. So this is looking like a rocky bomb site. But what are your alternatives? Master bedroom and bathroom, which is a very bad site. People don't play that site in general. And barbecue kitchen, which is also a pretty rough site statistically, and it's the site that you've lost already in this map. So I don't dislike the option to go back to it, trying to run this this bomb site one more time. Make sure that you can get that 4-2. If you get a 3-3 on Secret, you're feeling really, really good about this again. So we'll have to wait and see what the game plan ends up being. I think for Team Secret, getting that man advantage is really important, right? And if that man advantage can come off of your moves, it can come off of you getting aggressive and making sure that you're the one who are initiating those fights, I think that's going to be for the best. Falcons have definitely changed up their operation. Look at this. 2 players down at the bottom floor, Guards and Hasham. They brought the ultimate Mute Mozzie Vigil combo, and they'll take down Virtue with a really aggressive spawn peek. That's the fuse kit that will fall, as well as your only hard breacher.
Yeah, well played with the Roni in hand. That is not an easy gun to control. especially when you've got that small pixel. Goodbye to the hard breacher and the diffuser as well. Case will fall to its doom and need to be retrieved, which will eat up about 20 to 30 seconds of time from Team Secret to move one of these other players over, get the case, and get into position. I mean, we're ignoring the fact that, as you said, it's the only hard breacher. How are you going to be able to pierce this karaoke tea room without any hard destruction whatsoever? You don't even have a backup in that secondary hard breach gadget. So, Secret, if you wanted to equalize, you are in a pretty tricky spot to do that. Though, we've seen rounds fall apart strategically, but still go in favor just based solely on fragging potential. But I would give a bit of a hat nod to Falcons when it comes to the killing department.
They'll just reinforce the second wall from T-Room over to Mezzanine. That means it's fully reinforced off now. They previously had an angle. I really like that because that means that now once that gets controlled by Team Secret, and it will be controlled soon, they can't open it. They don't have the ace anymore. They're going to have to funnel through those two doorways. Now the push looks like it's going to come black stairs instead. That's a really strong spot for the Blitz to be pushing in, but be careful because if they can set up a crossfire on the side of Falcons or play from down below where Hisham currently is or land a big Nitro Cell, they could stop this Blitz play.
And there they go. They've got logic bombs. They've got EE1Ds. In rushes. Oh my. And it falters immediately. Last logic bomb has just gone off. One EE1D as well remaining, but you might not find much use of it as it's all Joom left alive. Adrian goes the first half without a kill, and Hasham cleans up as Falcons do what you expect a defending team to do on Skyscraper 4-2 the first half.
Great stuff by J-Lad. Honestly, the way he's playing around that shotgun is really impressive. He knew exactly what he had to do. He heard the blitz, first and foremost, coming through that doorway. So what does he do? He hits the deck. He says, I'm going for those toes. And he hit him perfectly to make sure he grabbed that kill. You can tell he's experienced playing against these shield teams. I know for a fact that a lot of these Middle Eastern squads, while they don't have the strongest teams in their region, it's mostly just Falcons and GK that are putting up competitive matches. They do scrim the European teams quite a lot, so they have a lot of that experience playing against top-level competition, even if they don't have it in their region specifically. So for the rest of Falcons, I mean, we're really starting to see that experience come on through, and you combine maybe the experience of a guy like J-Lad, who was on this team back in Sao Paulo when they last qualified to an international event. And you combine that with really high-skill players like Robbie, like Hisham, who have been all over the world putting up some of the best numbers that you've seen. That's a real good recipe for success. I still think there's some people that don't think they have maybe the experience compared to teams like Team Liquid, like Dark Zero, like Sonics, like BDS. And that's absolutely a fair criticism. But they're kind of putting all those worries to bed. I mean, yeah, maybe they haven't played the top teams in the world yet. They haven't played against BDS in particular. They haven't played against Sonics from North America. But regardless, they have yet to lose a game all stage long. I think they're going to be pretty happy with that first half. They will have to attack now, though, and they themselves are immediately hopping on the blitz.
Doesn't surprise me in the slightest to see quite a lot of shield play, but just as Falcons delivered an early blow to Secret, they will return the favor. Goodbye to J-Lad. The best performing player so far in this match, irrespective of what team it is. And now it's guards rushing up the stairs, punishing Adrian. Adrian again still searching for his first kill. Another for Joom, who's taken up spot by those black stairs. Down goes the shield, down goes the ace. You have very limited gadgetry to get you a win at this point. Savage clobbering Robbie. And this is how formidable the defenders are on a map like Skyscraper. Absolutely nothing going right for Falcons in that round. They get dogpiled by Team Secret, and it's a very easy and very quick win on their very first defense for Secret.
It was weird. We were supposed to be watching round 7. It looks like they just replayed round 6.
Very quick. It's crazy.
We started with a spawn peek onto Ace, the only hard breacher. Then they put all their faith in the Blitz, who ran in and immediately got shot despite being behind the shield. I mean, that was picture perfect. Exactly what we saw in the final round of the first half. So I guess Falcons getting a little taste of their own medicine. You've got to be so careful with spawn peeks on this map. It's just one of the reasons why defense is so heavily favored here. Good stuff, of course, coming out from the aggressive players of Secret. They never let their foot off the gas in that round. They were constantly going for swings, even when they're up in, let's say, the 4-2 man advantage. They felt really confident to take those gunfights, and that's going to be important. You know, maybe you're going down in this game, maybe you're playing some really good individuals on the enemy team of Falcons, but you're still Team Secret. You got top 8 at the last major. You've got some crazy gunners on your team as well. Joom in particular, having a great day so far today, putting up 8 and 5, the best stats of anybody. He's been more of a kind of flex frag player for this team. Groovy has also been an incredibly talented player for them throughout the stage. Maybe not putting up the best numbers at the moment, only 3 and 6, but he can get going, and if he does, he's going to be a huge problem for Falcons to deal with. It's only a matter of time, I'm sure, until Secret really start bringing it to Falcons.
Yeah, Secret's obviously been a much more even-keeled team when it comes to dispersing these kills. The exception of Adrian, everybody is showing up to get relatively high-impact kills in the rounds that they win. Nobody dropping off when faced with pretty decent adversaries on the side of Falcons. Obviously, things a bit more top-heavy for Falcons. Hashom and JLab leading the way on this team. Hashom taking care of Adrian. Adrian now 0-7 on that bandit. Look, you can make all the excuses in the world when you're on attack playing support roles, but you are on a roaming bandit underneath the bomb site, and you are designing your play to be in that early engagement, and you still lose it. 2 rounds in a row. There's no hiding there. Adrian having a very rough matchup, and it is, in a small way, holding this Team Secret squad back.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing 4v5 right now. No way around it. Joom's making sure it's a 4v4 for this round. Hunting for another one, too, but he's stunned to all the way. Robbie's going to be able to take down Savage at the same time. Joom gets out of it, despite being so stunned. Virtue at the same time finds JLad.
The defense was like an onion. You had to peel back multiple layers of that Team Secret style, all the way from the Black Stairs into the hallway, and Falcons doubled up on that, right? They had one player go geisha, they had one person out on that balcony, and they tried to pinch together, and it just did not work out in their favor. Team Secret were prepared and ready for it, and admittedly, Falcons have put the numbers back to a 3v3, which I suppose is a success, but oh my, you only took out the lowest rated player in the lobby. A triple from Robbie on that Ash will leave Virtue as the last one upright for Secret. Falcons very quick to the punch. 2 minutes off of the clock. Virtue stands alone right now inside of the split corridor. Bullet Tracer's going by, and instead now he'll head over towards office. He's expecting a drone. He finds it. Will now have to deal with the Thatcher of Hashom as he peeks at top stairs. The Ash will also have the lineup, and it's a single shot from Robbie. A 4K from Robbie to give the round to Falcons. Any hopes of a comeback for Secret will need to wait a couple more rounds as Falcons have stretched their lead once again to the most consistent number so far, which is by 2.
Robbie currently putting up a 3.0 KD ratio, and maybe that's surprising if you haven't watched Falcons so far, but even just earlier today, he put up 3.75 against Dark Zero. So clearly this is just another day at the office for Robbie, doing fantastic work, of course, here for Team Falcons. He's been phenomenal. He went 48 and 22 in Phase 1. For Team Falcons, which again is just a stupidly high KDR of 2.18 coming out. He's been fantastic all throughout the stage, all throughout his time on this team. You gotta wonder, where was this guy prior to being picked up by Falcons? Because he was in Tier 2 for quite a while.
We just answered your question. He was in Tier 2.
Why?
Where was he? He was in Tier 2.
Why?
Why are you asking me?
I don't know. We gotta ask some questions.
You think that I have an answer to that question?
Parker, why didn't you form an EUL team and pick up Robbie over the last couple of years, huh?
People ask me a lot of questions, Jesse.
Yep.
That has to be among the stupidest ones I've been asked. Why did I not pluck an Italian player from obscurity into a league in which I have very little association with these days to field a competitive roster that would likely require quite a considerable amount of money and an esports organization that would almost assuredly make me a biased caster? Why didn't I do that, Jesse? Excellent question.
I just think it would have been a good play.
I alone am responsible for impeding Robbie's growth at an EUL level. There you go. You know, he still doesn't play in the EUL.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous. Might be better, though, than playing in the EUL at this point. I mean, currently they are beating one of the top EUL teams in Team Secret. They finished second in Europe this season, but oh my god, look at these flashes. Already all coming in. The Geisha player of Virtue staying alive for now. It's going to be Joom for the opening, and Plant's going down.
Taking out Doe, but yes, you're right. Under their very noses, J-Lad getting the diffuser down. Robbie, the player you were just hyping up, is gone. Adrian breaks the goose egg. It comes in round number 9. Suddenly the Falcons, though, in the post plant, making short work of these defenders. One of the 3 remaining players from Secret will have to hop on the case in the next 30 seconds, but more importantly, you have to pick off these numbers. They've already started with 1 Guards and Hashem, the last 2 standing. Out on Rappel is Guards. On that support role, only 2 kills so far, not really required for much of the cut and thrust. He misses a golden opportunity as the Kiba barrier will block his vision. Savage sitting on diffuser, he stopped at the last second. If Groovy can't get there, no, he won't. Time will run out and Falcons will move to match point.
Just a fantastic plant-focused execute. They were in there so quickly. You've got to give credit to J-Lad for that. You know, there's 2 things I love about J-Lad, Parker. Number 1, he's a lad. Nobody denying that, undoubtedly. Number 2, he gets kills. 10 of them. So far through this game, he's been the top fragger out of the entire lobby. Number 3, I promise you 2, there's a bonus. He plants that kit. Usually throughout this tournament, it's been Guards who's been planting more often than not. He's gotten 60% of the team's plant throughout this tournament. But J-Lad absolutely knows how to get it done. I like the attempt there from the Azami player to block off the window, hop on the disable. But they had another player deep inside the site. I believe that was Hashem up on the Twitch to be able to take down those players in the bomb site. Expertly played in the post plants. Now 6-3, a 3-round deficit. Team Secret are going to have to run the gauntlet on the bomb sites. This looks very, very tough.
Yeah, you need a perfect rotation on this defense for Secret to get to overtime and then get out of this match in a positive direction. Falcons need just a single round from here on out. Secret need 5 for a victory at minimum, and Falcons will sit on match point. Secret teetering on the edge of oblivion, but keep in mind, this is the winner's bracket at the moment. Neither of these teams have lost. You are not in any peril whatsoever of going home. It is the last match of the day for both of these squads, but naturally you don't want to start off tomorrow's contests at a disadvantage. Secret, right now, poised to be the team that goes 1-1, but crazier things have happened.
Secret, they don't want to let Falcons get established this round. They're playing somewhat aggressive. We see Savage waiting for somebody to come up onto his balcony, but Guards, doesn't seem like he's headed that direction. Instead, going to move over towards Geisha, so that will realistically deny the opportunity unless they jump out the terrace window or something. Probably we will see all these players on Falcons survive for the first 60 seconds. Actually, Guards, are we changing our minds?
I'm sorry, you said the first 60 seconds. 45 seconds off the clock. Hashem is dead.
All right, well, we weren't watching that guy. It's not where they expect the aggression to come from, but well done by Joom.
Joom has been excellent at first interactions and first engagements so far. Whether it's on attack or defense, first blood being drawn by Secret has almost always been due to him. Where did this come from Falcons? Robbie with 2 very quick kills. J-Lad was on the board as well. Both J-Lad and Robbie tied at 11 kills apiece. We have a 3-way tie for most kills in the server. And unfortunately for Joom, it might be a consolation prize at this point, as Savage is the last one standing. Falcons continue to soar at the top of the major. They dominate Team Secret, and a 2-0 start for the team from the Middle East. Not something we expected, but something that brings a smile to your face.
I remember reading the comments that this team was overrated, that they played in a Mickey Mouse region. Well, I don't think so.
Blah, blah, blah.
At this point,